Good morning. Okay, so we are in Daniel, Perek Yubei, the final Perek, and today we're going to talk about all the good stuff. Yeah, today is January 22nd, Thursday. Okay, so now we're in Pasuk Aleph. We'll just give you a background. So yesterday we spoke how Yishmael is going to attack Edom, Iran, let's say it's an attack, let's say America, it's going to attack, and then there's going to be a counterattack. We're going to have Edom go ahead now and attack. He's going to have a counterattack to Edom. No, Edom is rather counterattack Yishmael, and then they hit Eretz Yisrael, and in Eretz Yisrael, a lot of people are going to be a tremendous amount of people are going to be killed, as the pasuk says, and then what's going to happen is Edom, Moav, and is going to be saved, and Mitzrayim is not going to be the fight. Mitzrayim, Egypt is going to be killed and be wiped out, and that time it's going to be a big Sarah. And that's really where the pasuk starts right now. It starts about the conversation, what's going to happen in Shemayim. So now, Be'esahi Yamoid Michal Asar Gadol. Yeah. I'm telling you now, there's a lot of shatim, but I'm going with. Today we're going to start with Rashi. So I'm going to start with. Today we're going to go with Rashi, and let's go. Be'esahi. So now, in that time, Yamoid Michal Asar Gadol. So the Asar Gadol, which is the Shemayim, is Michal. He's the one that always advocates for Klal Yisrael. So he. He's the one who usually stands up, and he's going to be quiet. Why is he going to be quiet? So Rashi brings down, Be'esahi Yishtatek Ka'elam, that Michal is going to be quiet. Sheyira Kadosh Baruch Hu Don Ba'atzli V'Omer Eich Ha'omer U'uma G'dayla Kazu B'Shul Yisrael. What happens is Hashem is going to say, why should I wipe out Edom? Why should I kill Rome? Because of Klal Yisrael, such a big nation. I should get rid of the whole nation. Because of Klal Yisrael, they both did various. Klal Yisrael, various. Like, why should I get rid of them? At that point, Michal, who normally the advocate Klal Yisrael, he's gonna be quiet. He's not gonna know what to say. Okay, and that time, it's gonna be a Sarah. There's gonna be a Sarah in Shemayim that there never was before in the history of Klal Yisrael. There's gonna be such a Sarah. It's gonna be very, very great. But what's gonna happen? And it's gonna be a whole commercial. Do we save Klal Yisrael or not? Right? What to do? And then Yimol Amcha, basically Yimol Amcha Kachbach, Hashem's gonna come. Is to save Klal Yisrael? Kol Hanimsa Kosim B'Sefer. He's gonna save Klal Yisrael. Kol Hanimsa Kosim B'Sefer. What does that mean? So Rashi learns first the Malbim. The Malbim says that means that they'll save Klal Yisrael, and just like anyone who's found B'Sefer Schuyas, anyone who's found to have Schuyas are gonna get saved at that time. The way Rashi says no, Rashi says it means Rashi says it's for to save Daniel. In other words, anyone it's going to be Klal Yisrael is going to be saved according to what it is in all the visions of Daniel. That's what it means saved. It means saved Daniel. Okay, whatever it is, the people of Zaycha are going to be Zaycha. Fine. Now, Pasuk Beis, the Rabbin Yisheni Ad Basafar. Now, many people of the ones that are laying in the dust. In other words, people that are dead. What's going to happen is Yakitsu are going to get up. Chis Mesim is going to start. Some are going to go for Chay Olam, are going to get up for eternal life, right? And some are going to be what? They're going to be for shame and eternal disgrace. What does that mean? So it's some say we'll go the Rambam and the Sadi Gaon says Chis Mesim, he says it's only for tzaddikim. So how do you read? So how do you read the pasuk? He says Rabbin means many of the people are going to get up. Many Yishnei Offer are going to get up, and the Elan, the ones that don't get up, the Elan Chayim, and those who want to get up Chay Olam. But Elan, the Charaf is the ones that don't get up Ches Mesim are going to be not going to get up. Meaning the ones that are not Zaycha. But the Babinel learns no. He says it means everyone's going to get up. Ches Mesim is for everybody. So how does that work? So he says you get up, and then there's going to be another judgment. And the ones that Zaycha are going to be Chay Olam, and the ones that are not Zaycha are going to be a Lidger Olam, like a eternal disgrace. So either you can learn it means they're going to go back down, or it means like someone spoke Lashon Hara, maybe missing a mouth, a hand, missing a hand, maybe get the like that, whatever it is, there's going to be Lidger Olam. Okay, Pasuk Gimel. Askilim, at that point, Askilim, Aziru, the people who learn Torah, go further go to Pashpasha, and then we'll go to Gemara. Pasha Askilim, Aziru means the ones who learn Torah, they're going to shine. The ones who learn Torah are going to shine like the radiance of the sky. But Tzaddik Rabbin, the people who cause people to do tzedek, to do righteous, they're going to be like the stars. So what does that mean? So the Gemara says, okay, so Pashup Shah means the people who are Torah, they're gonna shine, and the people that do for the tzibur, right? They call others to do good are gonna shine like the stars. What does that mean? So the Gemara says about Basra that Maskile Maziru means that the people are dying who judges emes, a good judge. You know, a lot of corrupt bezins in the world, but a good dying who really does things correctly, he's gonna shine like the sky. And what does it mean? The Tzadikei Rabbim. What's the Tzadikei Rabbim? So the Gemara says Tzadikei Rabbim first either someone collects tzedakah or it means someone who's Malav a Rebbe. Though he's gonna be like the Chavim Aylam. He's gonna be like the stars. What does that mean? So Mashal says on the Gemara that it means like this: just like the stars is not by day it's not seen and night is seen. So too. So you give tzedakah when you're collecting money for tzedakah, you be seen. When you give out tzedakah, it should be more quiet. It should be just like the star. It's seen and not seen. So when you give out tzedakah, you give it out quietly. That's shot in that. Now what's shot in Melamed Tinoikos? So why Melamed Tinoikos compared to the stars? So the Mashal brings out also that a Rebbe, he teaches Torah to the Talmud and that's like he's out at the stars. But when he's not around, his influence to continue on, and even though he's not seen, right. And the other shot is that the Rebbe, during the while he's teaching Torah, he should be seen. But when he's not around, the Rebbe should always have the Talmud in mind, like the seen and not seen like the stars. Okay, that's Mashal and the Gemara Basra on this pasuk. Anyways, weiter. V'ata Daniel now. Okay, so now the Malach Gavriel is continuing talking, right? He's saying the Yud Daniel storm at Dvarim, Chasam Sefer, Ad Eis Kates. You should conceal these words and whatever the way they learn it means whatever you understand, conceal it, and it's meant for the end of days, which seems like we're getting pretty close. And Yichet to Rabbim, and many people are gonna try to figure it out with Rabbadeya and one shot means as it gets closer to Ku'ula, they'll start to be understanding, will increase to figure out what's happening. That's one shot. Okay, I think we'll go with that shot. Fine. Pasuk hey. Re'isi ani Daniel. Daniel, I saw. Okay, so now we'll just go back. So we said earlier that Daniel was on the side and he saw Malach Gavriel was by the river, right? By the Euphrates, I think it was going into Gan Eden, right? By the river. And we said that he saw that Daniel saw Gavriel was dressed in white and he had a gold belt, right? And now he's standing by that vision, and then he sees two other malachim standing. So on the other side of the river, when Gavriel's over there, he sees two other malachim on the other side. Now, one of the malachim, tells the Ish Levush Abadim, it tells Gavriel. Okay, the other malachim tells Gavriel. Hashem he says, when is this concealed vision, Mashiach, when is it going to come? Okay, what's going on? Daniel's on the side, okay, and you have Gavriel who's like, Ma'ali Me'ayar means he's like hovering. So you have Daniel on the side, and you have Gavriel is like hovering over the river, and then there's two other malachim on the other side. And the one malach asks Gavriel, when is this going to happen? But so the Eshma, the Ish. So now he heard the Ish Lavushe Badim Hashem Ma'al Me'ayar. So now he hears him say, Gavriel saying, Yarm Yemina V'Smala. He takes his left and right hand. V'Yishbel Chayolim. So the Gavriel raises both hands like this. Azoi. He swears B'Shem Hashem, and he says, Kila Moyed Mayadim Chatzi. Okay, Mashiach's to come. Moyed Mayadim Chatzi. Moyed means a period and a time span and a half. And hopefully in a few minutes we'll explain to what maybe the cheshbon is. Okay, now, and then he said nepats, and then at the end when the various are cleaned up, in other words, the klaisel that's tshuva, yad am kodesh techlena kolela, and at the end klaisel, yad am kodesh refer to klaisel, because of klaisel all the nations will be wiped out. Okay, that's what's to happen after lamoid mayad mechatzi. Okay. So he says, I heard, I didn't understand. So Daniel tells Gavriel, he says, but I hear you, I hear these numbers, but when is the time? I want to know. Tell me, when is Mashiach coming? What is this time and a half. What's this encrypted, right, information? But Yomi lech Daniel, he says, let go, Daniel, let go. Kistumim, chasumim, hadvarim ad eight kates. It's going to be concealed. It's going to be hidden and sealed until then the time. You're not going to know. So don't waste your time trying to figure it out. Okay. In fact, the Rambam brings out. The Rambam says, right? The Rambam says you shouldn't be trying to figure it out. The case. It's interesting. The Rambam himself, in against Temin, actually tries to figure it out, which is very interesting. Even Rashi, by the way, is a whole cheshbon of what it is. Right? It's just interesting. Anyways, weiter. No. We'll get to that. Huh? Because what happens? He told them all different encryptions. He says, "Don't. I can't go any further. It's sealed to the end of time." But for some reason, I guess when they felt the tzara is getting harder, everyone's trying to figure out when it is. Yeah, there's no real answer to this question because we'll see in a second why. Because it's to say that everyone's trying to figure out, they're all going to make mistakes. But and again, Rashi himself, who tries to do it, the time passed according to Rashi. Okay, according to Rashi, it's in the 1300s. Anyway, let's just go back. Right. Okay. So really, the pshat is that they all say that. Let's say in Chapsai tea time, Mashiach was made sense to come, and they didn't come because they weren't Zaycha. And that's really pshat in the whole encryption. The reason why Malbim says one pshat, and let's say you have Rashi brings down a whole pshat, and one says it's Greek, one says it's Rome, because really they're all true. It could have been that time. It could have been after Chomes Mikdash by Sheni. We know after the 490 years it could have came. We know that, right? Because 410 plus 70 or 490, we know that was the time of Gula. It just Chayes wasn't Zeicha. So it really could be every time, and the question is when it would be Zeicha to Gula. Right. Okay. Now, the next few words are very interesting. Vashi Rishayim, he says, because go back. So he says, you know, many people, and at that point, it's going to be clarified when Mashiach's come. In the meantime, he says, Vashi Rishayim, the wicked ones will act with rishus, but Le'avinu kol Rishayim, and then all the Rishayim, since all the people are basically going to make mistakes in the calculations, therefore they become rasha. Askili avinu, but the Tamil Chum, the people that are smart will understand that. So the few pshat. One pshat means like that. One pshat means is that the Risham, the people who act wickedly, they're going to go ahead and try to figure out the case, and they're going to stumble and they're going to say, "Hey, where's Mashiach?" And they're not going to come, and because of that, they're going to lose Amunah B'Tachan, and they're going to go off. But Maskil, that means the Tamil Chum, and they're not going to go ahead and try to figure it out. They're not going to lose a hope because they didn't go down that path. And okay, that's one pshat. The Chofetz Chaim says another. The Chofetz Chaim brings down a pshat that at the end of time, there's going to be a lot of tragedies coming to Klal Yisrael. Yeah, I mean the Chofetz Chaim was lifted right before the Holocaust, so a lot of tragedies are going to come. And he says there's going to be a lot of horrible things that come to Klal Yisrael. Maybe for instance, the Holocaust, like October 7th, October 11th, different tragedies are going to come. And he says what's going to happen. So he says Rashi Rishayim, which means Rishayim are going to see tragedies and they're just going to get upset about it and they get very angry about it and they're going to go off. But tzaddikim, maskil evinu, the tzaddikim understand that the reason why we have all this is to purify ourselves, to cleanse ourselves, and then because of that they understand it's a process of gula, and that's what it means. Rishayim, because they see tragedies coming, they're going to become wicked. Maskil, they're going to see the tragedy. And they're gonna learn, and they're gonna understand that it's actually the process of gula actually coming. That's Chofetz Chaim. The Malbim says a pshat that it means that at the time of Geula you're gonna have Rishir Rishon means there's gonna be it means that all the nations of the world are gonna recognize Hashem, and what's gonna happen is, and Maskila means some nations are gonna realize that Akash Baruch Hu is the emes and follow Hashem, but the wicked ones are not gonna recognize Hashem. They say, I'm for Torah V'das. So here, Pam, they asked, Pam said, why did Hashem make the United Nations? Like we need the United Nations. So he said like this. I said that Pam said that the Gemara says in the Zohar. The Gemara brings down that besides Mashiach, everyone's going to say that they realize that Klal Yisrael is a real thing. They're going to say everything we do is for Klal Yisrael, right? They said the Romans say the roads, everything's for Klal Yisrael, right? He said, why did Hashem make the United Nations? The market, everything's for Klal Yisrael. So he said, why did Hashem make the United Nations? Because one day, what's going to happen is the Yaveh Mashiach is going to come, and all the nations of the world will say, "Oh, Klal Yisrael, of course, we didn't know about Klal Yisrael. If we would have known Klal Yisrael, of course we would have done good for Klal Yisrael. We had no idea." So Hashem gave the United Nations. Everyone could come and give the day on Klal Yisrael. You could say Klal Yisrael, I'm against it. You can take sides. So now when Mashiach comes, there's no I didn't know. You knew and you voted against us. You hate us and you always hated us. And that's what it means. Rishon at the time I could always vote bad to Klal Yisrael. But and again, I'm tight my own shadow to it. But again, according to the album, they're saying is but everyone's gonna give it a day on Klal Yisrael. At the end of time, the Maskil Yavinu, Rashi Rishon. Okay, right. Let's get off. Now, Me'ez Husa Tamid. And now he's telling him another encryption. He's saying this from the time that the current Tamid was removed, which we know was 6 years before the Chor Beis HaMikdash, and that was the time that Eish Shukat Shaimin, the time that the Ezra was put in the Beis HaMikdash. And then from that time, Yomim Elef B'Sayim Tishim, 1290 years. So 1290 years from 6 years before the Churban, that's the time of Gula. That's going to be the time of the beginning of Gula. 1 second. The Ashrei and fortunate is the one who waits. If you Yomim Elef Shalosh, if you wait, fortunate is the one who waits another 45 years. So what he's saying is 6 years before the Chor Beis HaMikdash, you add 1290 years, and then hold on, give me. It's talking about Sheni, okay? Just give me a second. So hold on. So what he's saying is when 6 years before Chor Beis Sheni, you go ahead and you add 1290 years. And at that point, it's gonna be a Gula, and then I'll just say outside. And then what happens is there's gonna be a period. The Mashiach is going to disappear for 45 years, and those who have Amunah and hold on tight for those 45 years are going to be zeicha to, as he says, Asher Mechaka to year Yom Elav Shalosh Me'ez V'Shalishim Chamisha. Fortune the one to waste the year the 1335 years again, and at that point Mashiach is to come again. Some say it's of Mashiach ben Yosef who's been killed with Gemara Sukkar. Mashiach ben Yosef been killed with Muhammad, and 45 years later maybe Mashiach ben David. Just again, I'll say the cheshbon inside here in a second. 6 years before Chum Beis HaMikdash, you count at the time when Zar went in the Beis HaMikdash, and then that year 1290 years. At that point, if you wait 45 more years, 1335. At that point is the time of the Gula. Okay, I'll go through in a minute a little better, and then it says Va'ato, and now Nach Gabriel saying Va'ato Lech. He says, "You Daniel, you could go now. You know it's okay. Lech the Kate at the end of your life, you could go in peace because you know about Chesemesim now. After Nuach, you have to rest. But Tamoid, and you'll get up. The Garocha or the Kate Hayamim, and yeah, you get up because at the end of the days you'll be Zaycha to Chesemesim. Now, what happened? We'll go to Pshat in a minute, but I want to say one thing. So, what happened to Daniel? Where did he go? He's suddenly like, there's no end to him. Normally at the end of each sefer it says, we have a Shmuel Navi died. What happened to Daniel? So the Medrash brings down, and we'll have this maybe when we start, for sure we'll start Ezra. What happens is, Kairish, in the first year of Kairish, he gives Klal Yisrael permission to build a Beis HaMikdash. Okay? So what happens is, they go, 42,000 people go with Zerubbabel, and they go back to Israel. And they go to build the Beis HaMikdash. Daniel doesn't go. Okay? Now, when they go to Eretz Yisrael, they get there, and what happens is all the Goyim are like, we don't want you here. And they made a whole uproar that they weren't so interested in college of coming back, to the point that one day Kairish was walking around the street market he's walking around, and he sees that it's empty. He asks the people, what's going on? They're like, oh, all the Jews left. He goes to the goldsmith, the coppersmith, even the Medrash bring down the place where they mint the coins, and it's empty. It's desolate. And so everyone say, yeah, because Klal Yisrael runs the bar. Klal Yisrael runs the business, and out of business because they all left. So Kairish realizes, he's in trouble. So he says, you know what? He says any Yid who passed the Euphrates River could go. If not, come back. And he takes away the whole thing. He says Klal Yisrael can't build. They rescind the whole idea of building the Beis HaMikdash until later on, until the Yavish number 2. In the meantime, they come back, and now Daniel at that time he realizes that it's time to get out because he didn't go in the beginning because he just couldn't leave, whatever it was. He couldn't go at that point. So Daniel goes ahead and he says it's better to see. Daniel also knew that at that point he knew that the time to get built Beis HaMikdash. So he does is he decides it's still better to be in Eretz Yisrael than to be in Chutz La'aretz. He says it's better to retire in Eretz Yisrael. Daniel goes He sneaks out and he goes to Eretz Yisrael, and there he joins the Ashkenaz Gedolah. There's even the Medrash says he together with Hananiah, Shaul, Azariah, and he's zoicha to see the building of Bayis Sheni in the time of the Yavish. So the Daniel was very, very old. He was there before the Churban of Bayis Sheni of the Bayis Rishon. He's there during all the kings, from the Nebuchadnezzar, Avil Madrich, what's the name? Belshazzar, Achashverosh, the Yavish. He goes all the way through from the God and into Bayis Sheni, and then he even lives 18 years into Bayis Sheni. So this doesn't really work so well. I mean, it couldn't really work with the Gemara. The Gemara says, hold on, and then it was there, he ended his life in Israel. Now, the Gemara says in Megillah that the Hasach is Daniel. So the question is how that works. And it could, I think it's still working in the Cheshbon because it makes sense. During Achashverosh's time, he was a Hasach Megidula, which means he went down for the Gedula. He wasn't anymore on top of whatever, but he was still he was a messenger to Esther, and he could be, and he continued on. I mean, I don't know if that's so fair. Now, if they want to go the 2 more minutes just to go through the cheshbon of the Kates, right? Again, so we just said like this. So we know the basic pictures was Chorv in what year? Year 69, right? Which in the Hebrew calendar is year 3829. Okay. Now we said 6 years before the Chorv Beis Hamikdash. We said 6 years before is where we start counting because that's where the time where the Avodah Zarah went into Beis Hamikdash. So if you go back 6 years, with 69 minus 3 is 63, right? Which is year 3823, just minus 6. It's easy. If you take 3829 minus 6, right? 3823. Now, if the pasuk says you have to year 1290, as the pasuk says, year 1290, you're gonna get the year number in the English year be 5113. I even checked the chat. Okay, I checked. I even verified with ChatGPT. It makes sense, and that's why in the English calendar, the Hebrew calendar, 5113 is year 1353. And the Gaudiya calendar, year 1353, is the year, according to Rashi, the Geulah is going to come. But you obviously have to add another 45 years. So again, the Mashiach will come then, plus 45 years. If you add 1353 to 45, you'll get to what the Pasuk says now, the Geulah is going to come. Now, when it says in the Pasuk, Eden, Plag Eden, right, we had earlier in Perek Zion. So that, I'll tell you what that means. That means you take a time span, you take 480 years, why 400? The time from coming to Eretz Yisrael until the beginning of Beis Hamikdash Rishon is 480 years. And you take the 410 years of Bayis Rishon is you have 890 years. Okay, again, going to Eretz Yisrael, so being Beis Hamikdash is 480 years, and then plus Bayis Rishon was 410 years, you'll have 890 years, and then it says a time and a half a time. So half a time means 890 plus a half a time, which is 445. You got the year 1335. Exactly the pasuk says 1335 years. That's what the pasuk says. That's Shalom Perek Zion. And Perek Ches, when it says Erev Vayket 2300. What does that mean? So that means, this already, as Rashi says, he takes the gematria of I think it's gematria of Erev gematria is 574. If you add that to 2300, like we just said, and you get the year number 2874, which it's the same cheshbon. It just starts from Tzit Mitzrayim until the end, and it also comes at the 1290. Now, what's the gematria of Hester? It says Hasta Asta Pana B'Yamahu. Hasta is gematria 1335. That's the end, and that's the year 1335. That's the time of Geulah. That's the end of Sefer Daniel, and now we continue on the journey to Sefer Ezra.